Why don't we call American billionaires oligarchs, like we do for Russian billionaires? Because an oligarch is not just a wealthy person. It is a person with a disproportionate, undue amount of influence on the politics of the country. Oftentimes they are directly involved in the course of politics of their country. In the case of Russian oligarchs, a lot of them made their wealth specifically by being in the right place at the right time during the collapse of the Soviet Union, being able to take over high-level positions at previously nationalized but now privatized companies. I like to think that American billionaires don't have quite as much improper influence on American politicians compared to the Russians. But maybe that's just wishful thinking on my part. The irony of calling American billionaires oligarchs is that in a true oligarch system they would have never existed. Traditional market leaders that have established political connection like Walmart, Sears, Kmart in that system could have legally shut down Amazon. IBM would have shut down Microsoft. Ford or GM would have shut down Tesla. None of these founders were rubbing elbows with politicians. Oligarchs is more than being rich. Oligarch means someone with political power. When the USSR dissolved, state enterprises were sold to politically connected people at a deep discount. They were able to become rich off these companies. This gradually changed as not all Russian billionaires got wealth like that, but the names stick. In America, it is more common for someone to get rich and then use their money for political power than the opposite. A more apt comparison would be the robber barons of the Gilded Age, e.g. Vanderbilt, Carnegie, Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan. Russian oligarchs were created by select politicians, i.e. Putin, in power to maintain power over the Russian economy and people. Putin essentially created the oligarchs, being the person controlling the export licenses under Boris Yeltsin. The billionaires in Western countries today have wealth that comes from their shares of a traded company. Ultimately, this means that their wealth is connected to the money investors, mostly retirement funds, give them. This is in contrast to the oligarchs who fall into two categories. A. Exploiting Russia's natural resources and pocketing a large portion of the profits from their sale to Western countries, or B. Outright defrauding the Russian government by selling off government property or providing fraudulent goods, i.e. cardboard armor for troops and tanks. Because they're not the same thing. Most big corporations on USA are publicly traded. They are controlled by shareholders, CEOs, etc. There is usually no big business people like the oligarchs. Russian oligarchs stole the wealth of the Russian people when state properties, industries, and mineral reserves were privatized. They control monopolies with no free market. The system is based on bribery, extortion, and collusion with the mafia and a dictatorship police state. Comparing them to American billionaires is the mental masturbation of capitalism haters. Some of us do. It just hasn't caught on as the reality. While there are caste differences, there are also many similarities.
We don't?
You sound like a Russian bot. This is like the third time I've seen this question come up. Because an oligarch has political power. And this, my friends, is what we call whataboutism. These questions are often pushed by Russian bot farms. Notice how they come right around Zelensky's arrival to the White House. Their name, 44-day-old account. Almost all reposted questions. Your best bet is to block and move on. Imagine how bad you think the reach American billionaires have on the people and the government. Multiply that several hundreds of times and you'll start to approach the weakest, smallest oligarch.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.